Hello students, welcome back to our third module of the chapter Light. Here in this module we would be learning about how light and our eyes are correlated to each other and how both helps us to see the things around us.
We learned that objects are visible because of the light getting reflected from their surfaces. This reflected light enters our eyes and we see that object. What happens inside the human eye when the light rays enter it? What is it that helps us see the things around us? The human eye is roughly spherical in shape. What we're going to do in this video is understand the different parts of the eye in short, not in extreme detail. Let's begin. The outer layer of the eye is called the cornea. It's white in color and transparent. Transparent? Yes, it means that it allows light to pass through it. It acts like a tough front wall of the eye. What is its function? It protects the interior of the eye from accidents and also does not allow foreign particles to enter the eye. Okay, so this was all about the outer layer of the eye. Let's now talk about the things present inside. Behind the cornea, there's a dark muscular structure called the iris. Iris determines the color of the eye. For instance, when we say that a person has blue eyes, it means that the color of the iris of the person's eye is blue. Now there is a small opening at the center of the iris for the light to enter. Do you know what it's called? It's called the pupil. The iris actually acts like a shutter of a camera. It controls the amount of light entering the eye by enlarging or shrinking and thereby adjusting the size of the pupil. For example, when you focus the light from the torch directly into a person's eye, the iris shrinks. This is because the intensity of light is too much for the eyes to bear. The shrinking iris stops the unwanted light from entering through the pupil. And when it's dark or when there's less light, it expands, allowing more light to enter through the pupil. Okay, what happens next? The light that enters through the pupil falls on the lens kept behind. The lens is a convex lens. What is a convex lens? Convex lens is a lens which is thicker at the center than the edges. It's a converging lens. That is, it focuses all the light at one point. In a normal regular eye, this point is somewhere here on this inner boundary called retina. Why do I say a normal eye? Well, in a defective eye, this point of focus may lie either in front of the retina or behind the retina. We will talk about this defect of eye in our future videos, but first, let's go back to our normal eye where light is focused on the retina. Retina is at the back of the eye and marks the inner layer of the eyeball. Retina contains lots of nerve cells that sense the light. The nerve cells are of two kinds, namely cones, which are sensitive to bright light, and rods, which are sensitive to dim light. The message or sensation is then transferred to the brain along the optic nerve. Okay, let's quickly recap what we learned about the human eye. Human eye has a roughly spherical shape. The outer part of an eye, called the cornea, is a thick white transparent wall which protects the eye from accidents and keeps the foreign particles from entering inside. Behind the cornea, the colorful part of the eye, called the iris, is present. It has a small opening at the center called pupil. Iris controls the light entering through the pupil by contracting and expanding. Behind the pupil, there is a converging lens which focuses the light on retina. Retina consists of two types of nerve cells, namely cones and rods. They transfer the message through the optic nerve. There is a lot of information to digest, so we will stop here and continue to learn more about the eye in the next lesson. We've seen what myopia is and how it can be corrected. But what's hyperopia? In simple words, it's exactly the opposite of myopia. Hyperopia is also called farsightedness. In this case, the distant objects are clear while the nearby objects appear blurry. This is because the light is focused behind the retina rather than on the retina. As I say, myopia and hyperopia are exactly opposite of each other. So the cause of hyperopia is also opposite to the cause of myopia. This defect results due to the eyeball being smaller than usual. So the distance between the lens and retina is smaller than it should be in a normal eye. and hence the image of a nearer object is formed behind the retina. And just as myopia can be corrected using a concave lens, this defect can be corrected using a convex lens. The convex lens helps in focusing the light at the correct place. Now that we know the basics of myopia and hyperopia, let's move on to another eye defect. We know that the cornea is a curved outer layer which refracts most of the light entering the eye. But sometimes the curvature of the cornea is distorted. It may become irregular like this, slightly elongated in the middle. This defect of the eye is termed as astigmatism. What happens when a person is suffering from this condition? In this condition of the eye, all the light is not focused at one point. In fact, it's focused at more than one point. And the second point could or could not be on the retina. It may lie in the front of or behind the retina. Astigmatism also results in the object appearing blurry. But is this defect for far away or nearby objects? It could be either. One of the reasons for change in shape of cornea may be continuous rubbing of eyes. This is the reason why we're advised to not rub our eyes too often. Another eye defect I want to discuss is presbyopia. This is the condition of the eye commonly found in senior citizens. In this eye condition, distant objects are clearly visible, but nearer objects appear blurry. Yes, you probably guessed that presbyopia is similar to hyperopia. Here as well, the light gets focused behind the retina. However, unlike hyperopia, it does not occur due to the shortened eyeball. What is the reason for this eye defect then? As the person ages, the lens reduces its power of accommodation. It means that the lens loses its flexibility to move. In this condition, the lens cannot adjust its focal length in such a way that the nearby objects are visible. Now, if you remember, in one of our earlier videos, I said that for a normal eye, the minimum distance between the object and the eye should be at least 25 centimeters. This would cause no strain to our eyes. But in presbyopia, the distance is more than 25 centimeters. Nearby objects do look blurry with this eye defect.